Hey guys, Chef Ange here, and I'm going to teach you how to make my sticky rice with Lap Cheong sausage, which is a Chinese sausage made from pork. Let's have a look at my ingredients. I've got soy sauce, I have sesame oil, we've got our shiitake mushrooms, we've got our soaked rice. Now this rice has been soaked, it's just jasmine rice soaked for 1 hour and drained. I've also got ginger, I've got my Lap Cheong sausage. As you can see, it's a preserved sausage. Now everywhere in Asia, they have a different type of sausage. In Korea, they have one that's a little bit sweeter. In Japan, they have one that is just made out of all different types of meat. This one is more of a Cantonese style, and it's called Lap Cheong in Chinese, and it's mostly made out of pork and pork fat as well. It also has quite a little bit of a sweet flavour to it. We've also got our garlic, we've got our salted preserved duck eggs. You can buy these, they're called salted duck eggs, and you can buy them at any Asian grocer. Now these duck eggs have been brined in a salt liquid, so when we eat it they're quite salty, so it's almost like an accompaniment to the actual rice itself. We've also got 2 litres of chicken stock, and we've got some scallions, which is obviously always in Asian cooking. Let's get started. First of all, we're going to start by adding some rice bran oil to your clay pot. You could use any pot if you like, you don't need to use a clay pot, but this gives it the authentic flavour. I'm adding some garlic, just finely chopped. We'll add maybe 5 cloves, and just sliced. Add those to the pan, and that's on a medium heat, guys. I'm going to add some ginger. Now the way to get rid of the skin on the ginger is to use a spoon, and you just scrape up and down each side of the ginger. I'm just going to use half of this knob here. It's great to even store it in the fridge directly afterwards after you've used the spoon, and it's still is no problem to keep using it like that. Just chop off the little bit that you need. You can chuck that back in the fridge. Then we're just going to slice it and just slice it into matchsticks. That's probably all about the amount that I need. I'm just going to saute that in the oil. Make sure it's not too hot. You don't want to burn your oil and garlic at this stage. Now, the next step, get your Lap Cheong. Now, I love this stuff. It's so good. It does need to be cooked. So if you wanted to cook it just on its own, it needs to be steamed. In this recipe, I'm going to cut it up because the flavour of the pork will go through the rice, and it is absolutely delicious. One of the most delicious things in the world. My grandmother, who just passed away a few years ago, our Thai paw, she used to make this for me as a child. It conjures all the memories of eating all of these things. In fact, this was her pot. Oh. So we're just going to saute that in the pan. And as the smell releases, it smells quite sweet. It's so delicious. I just want to saute that just a little bit, just to release the flavours. And then we're going to add our rice. So this rice has been soaked for an hour. It's 1 cup. And we've actually just put it through a fine sieve, so we're not taking any of the water, because it's really important for the absorption method to be able to work here. Okay, we're going to add our rice. Make sure you get everything in there. The old wives' tale is if you don't eat all of your rice, you're going to marry someone who's ugly. Who knew? Add that to your pot, stir that around a little bit so you can get everything agitated. Then we're going to add our stock. So add double the amount of stock to your rice. So if you're using 2 cups of rice, you can use 4 cups of stock. And in your pot, you want to get all of this rice into the liquid. Then I'm going to grab my shiitake mushrooms. Just going to slice those nicely. And you know what? You could add any mushrooms that you've got in the house. Grab your duck egg. Now the duck egg needs to be cooked as well, so it's just going to steam on the top of the rice. And I'll just poach that in the liquid. Add some more mushrooms. I've got some button mushrooms here. Add those to the top. That will just impart more flavour into your rice dish. Today we've used chicken stock. We'll put the lid on, we'll turn it to a medium heat and we'll let that cook for 20 minutes. Now that I've just cleaned up my bench, let's have a look. It's been 20 minutes. Oh my God. The smell, it's so incredible. The sausage is so sweet. Okay, now we're just going to turn off the heat. I'm going to let it steam for a few minutes and that will actually set everything together and it'll come together. Now what I'm going to add now to the pot is some soy. I'm going to add also some sesame oil. And now we're going to let that steam for a few minutes just before we plate that up. Now before we plate it up, I'm going to add some chopped scallions. We only like to use the green part. So when you're slicing through, you want to use a motion. You don't want to chop like that. You really want to use a slicing motion. Okay, get that ready. Now that's been in there for a few minutes, I'm just going to grab it out with my spoon. Be careful, the lid's going to be hot. Oh my goodness. Now you're just going to grab some of the rice, some of the bits of everything. Some of the sausage. Oh my God, my stomach's grumbling. Now with the duck egg, I'll grab a bit more, a bit hungry, you know. Just gonna grab my egg. Now the duck egg's in the skin, obviously. You wanna grab your knife, hold the duck egg, and you wanna cut through it with the egg and all. Now once you grab yourself a little teaspoon, you can grab out 1/4 of an egg per person, as it is quite salty and it is more like a garnish for your meal, and then pop it on the side so you can enjoy it. And there you have it, my easy sticky rice with Lap Cheong sausage.